Okay, so Ian, just moving on to you then and your role, just to explain to our listeners what it is that you do on a daily basis.
My main role is dealing with the Earth Heritage Programme within the agency. So the legislation that the agency operates under requires us not only to try and protect plants and animals and the habitats that they occur in, but also the important geological localities around Northern Ireland. So the main activity that I've been involved in over the past 15 or so years is undertaking a series of research projects to identify the most important localities, geological localities in Northern Ireland, and to move those towards designation as areas of special scientific interest. So that designation allows us to, I suppose, enter into a dialogue with landowners. By and large, these ASSIs will be on private land, but some may not be. But it allows us to get into a dialogue with landowners to ensure that these sites are managed appropriately. And the objective of this programme, called the Earth Science Conservation Review, is to pull together a site series, in this case of around about 300 localities, that collectively tell the geological story of the development of Northern Ireland. So collectively, they represent something like 1 billion years of Earth's history. And the geology of Northern Ireland is phenomenally varied, and hence the number of sites that are required to tell that tale, to tell that story.
How many sites did you say currently ASSIs?
Well, I think we designate ASSIs for biological sites, for earth science sites, but also a range of sites that have got multiple interests, combined interest. I should have looked up the current figure before I left the office. I think it's in around 350 ASSIs. So some extremely small. There's a number which are literally just a couple of fields where traditional hay meadow making is still carried out, so they're particularly species rich. At the other end of the scale, we've got places like Loch Ness, which is obviously a very large area, again designated as an ASSI. But collectively, the ASSIs are there to represent the most important elements of our natural environment. Over and above the actual designation, people obviously want to do things out in the countryside, often involving some of these designated sites. So, for instance, yesterday I was down in the Mournes meeting with the National Trust. A very simple issue, that they want to put a new bridge in over the Bloody River, just to make access a lot more easy. And it happens to be over a section of the river that is very important geologically, telling us the story of the development of the Mourne Mountains. So it's one of those instances where we're not there to say no. We're just there to make sure that the work is carried out in a way and positioned in a way that doesn't destroy or impact adversely on the geological interest. And that's what a lot of our work within the agency is working with individuals, with other organisations, to ensure that that the works that they want to do, be it anything from the scale of quarrying to maybe a improvement within agricultural lands, to find ways that can be done without having an adverse impact on the natural environment.
And what kind of criteria? I know it's probably a very complicated area, but sort of in basic terms, what kind of criteria would you use to define an ASSI?
Well, it varies. On the geological side, it is literally looking for those localities which tell to best effect that particular piece of Northern Ireland's geological story. So we're surrounded by rocks, be they covered with vegetation or not. Dig deep enough, there's rocks there. And obviously where we are on the side of Belfast, we're very aware of geology. The Belfast Hills are made of quite a diverse range of rock types. But it's trying to identify those sites that are absolutely critical, which either through past research have been demonstrated as being critical to this collective story, and those sites that also have the best potential for future research. Northern Ireland's got a phenomenal potential as an educational resource for the geological sciences, and we need geologists. It's not just out there having fun and looking at rocks and coming up with obscure terminology, although my colleagues seem to think that that's all I do. Peter earlier mentioned the fact that biodiversity gives us our food, gives us a lot of the construction materials. Well, if we're not able to grow it, we've got to quarry it or mine it. And that's obviously going on around Northern Ireland. You've got renovation work going on at Conway Mill. The cement came out of the ground. It may well have come out, may well have started life as some of the chalk rocks, Cretaceous age chalk rocks, 80 million years old, somewhere around the Antrim coast. The roads that we drive on, the houses that we live in, all have materials that are extracted from the earth. And then Northern Ireland also sort of has a lot of specialist minerals. We do have one working gold mine over in County Tyrone. Northern Ireland is looking very good as a gold prospect for a number of additional sites to come through. Jen, having the sites, I suppose, that can act as an educational resource will mean that we've got the right sort of people with the right sort of skills to be able to sustainably exploit these resources, and anything that we generate locally means it's material that we don't have to import. Things like gold obviously become a very valuable export for Northern Ireland. So geology equals jobs, can equal significant contributions to the local economy as well.